not alone. And I think that a lot of us have this shame and guilt about how much it is that we eat because of these cravings. And today I just want to talk about why you're having these cravings. And one of the reasons, or a few reasons why you're having these cravings, is because of hormonal imbalance. Also, insulin. Insulin is a hormone in the body. What happens is when you have too much of it in your blood and you're resistant to it, what happens is it causes for you to want even more. That's why some of you, when you start eating something sugary, it's hard to put it down. So as much as your mind knows, look, I'm having way too much, the chemistry of your body is causing for you to reach out for more. So it is, a lot of us experience that. Some of these products have chemical ingredients that was made in a lab that is actually causing all of this, an effect on your body, on your brain, on your system, and that is misfiring the communication between your stomach and your brain that's actually causing all of this.
So what we're going to talk about is how to get your head and stomach on the same page. So these stretch receptors, what they do is once you eat food, it signals to the brain to stop eating. So hormones are formed once you eat food. And the connection of that is that it sends a signal to the brain saying, stop eating. So in image one, when you eat fried food or oily food, you can see that the oil sits in the stomach, but it doesn't fill up the stomach. So the brain is not registering yet that it's actually full. But let's say this oil is about 300 calories and it's in your stomach. The second image, let's say, is fried chicken. After you've eaten it, it still hasn't filled up your stomach because it's dense. So now it's sitting at the bottom of your stomach. You probably have eaten, let's say, maybe 1,000 calories, but your brain is still not registering that it's full. But you've already consumed, let's say, 1,000 calories. But your stomach takes about 5 days to renew itself. Your brain takes about 1 year for helping your brain again. Fruits and vegetable is going to be your number one way to get your brain to start talking with your stomach again. Now, we're going to move on to the next slide, which is how to make informed decisions when eating or snacking. So let's say right now, you're someone who's highly busy, which a lot of us are, and we don't have time to eat. And right now we're dealing with fast foods. So this is where you come in and you say, look, I want to lose weight. I can't lose weight, but I don't have time to eat. I don't know what to do. There's a McDonald's here. What do I do? So you can eat at McDonald's. You can eat at a fast food. But what you're going to start to look at is that you're going to look for protein and fiber in those fast foods. So you can discover some of those by just going in and figuring out, okay, what can I have on the menu? So the first thing you want to do when you go into a fast food, especially in this new journey of trying to adapt yourself to getting your brain and your stomach to talk to each other, is you first got to say, I have to choose protein and fiber. Those are the two things. So if you go to McDonald's, as soon as you go, it smells good, right? So it's palatable. It tastes good. The texture looks good. And so that's going to entice your hunger even more. So what you can do is, okay, you have an appetite and you're triggered by it. What can I have at McDonald's? So you can have a burger at McDonald's. The burgers have lettuce, they have tomatoes, and they have meat. You're going to choose, again, protein and fiber. Now, of course, when they make their burgers with bread. So you're not going to have the bread. And the reason why you're not going to have the bread is, one, you're trying to figure out how you're going to change your habit, but you're also having to figure out how to give in because you don't have time to cook. So you're going to eat, but you're going to make sure what you eat is not going to create, again, a gap in the stomach. So this is helping you to understand in a more realistic way how to eat when you're on the go, what to choose when you're faced with last-minute choices at a fast food restaurant, and why, when you're there, your appetite is triggered, and some of the things that are playing in within your whole makeup that's causing you to want and want these food. And some of them are due to your thoughts, your emotions. The thing you want to look at the third thing you want to look at. So after we've realized, okay, I'm left with no better choice, but while I'm dealing with this, I'm going to choose protein, fiber, and then I'm going to choose things I like that taste good. Now, what am I going to do? I'm going to sit and eat. Now, when you sit and eat, the third thing you want to focus on is your pace of eating. And what happens when you're at a fast food, because you don't have time, you eat fast. And what we're finding is with a lot of people who are not eating mindfully is that within 10 minutes, they're done with their meal. So what you want to do when you're sitting and eating at these fast foods is chew your food properly. So we're at McDonald's and we're eating a quarter pounder with no bread, with tomatoes, onions, and a slice of cheese. So you're going to take a bite of your food, you're going to chew it, and you're going to count to yourself in your mind while you're eating 25 times. After that, one is good, and they're fast. So if you're, again, at Chipotle, you have several options there that you can choose. You can choose their beans, you can choose their meat, you can choose brown rice, you can choose some of their greens. They have green peppers, they have spinach, they have onions, they have all these put together in the platter. Now, what you want to look out for is the extras, and the extras are the sauces, your portions, and some of the fried stuff, the white rice, the bread, the tortilla, because one of the tortillas is almost 250 calories. So those are the things you're going to want to pay attention to. Now, moving along, how to make informed decisions when you're eating out or snacking. So we talked about the fast food chains. Now we're going to talk a little bit more about how to get comfortable when you're sitting down at a restaurant and you're eating. Because again, not every day we have the chance to sit and cook at home or have our meals prepped. And sometimes we just want to go out and have a good meal. And we have Applebee's, Fridays, Chili's, Outback Steakhouse, all these wonderful restaurants. And what's happening now is that you're able to either first call ahead of time and ask them to make your specific order or talk about how and what options they have. And you can do it by calling, or when you get there, you can ask them, what veggies, starches, and proteins do you have today? And then you're going to ask them, can you grill, bake, or steam? And most of, maybe almost 100% of the time, they'll do either three. They'll either steam, grill, or bake. Or they may say, okay, I can bake it, but we'll put the sauce on the side for you. So that's always an option. So yes, you can eat out. Yes, you can enjoy a meal with friends. Yes, you can mingle and socialize. However, you want to stay, again, cognizant of the fact that, okay, I'm trying to change my behaviors. I'm trying to connect my stomach and my brain. So I'm going to choose these foods, and then I'm going to go back again and learn how to chew and make sure I'm chewing properly. Now, let's talk about people who do go to, let's say, BJ's or goes to supermarkets, and they do stock up and they do try to meal prep or have snacks they can bring with them because they don't choose to go at fast foods and purchase foods. These are some of the brands and foods that we stand by. And Quest bars, the reason why is because of their fiber content and their protein content. They do add sugar. However, the sugar is not something that causes what we call high glycemic products. These are products once you eat, when they're like sugary foods, that raises your blood sugar level very quickly. So Quest bars are a safer option based on what's out on the market. And again, if you're stocking up with food in your home and you want to just do a grab and go and pack your lunch, those are good or better choices. Kind bars are the same thing. Rice cakes are also. Now we have people who, you can do tuna packets as well. But also we have people who love, like, let's say pancakes, breakfast cereals, muffins. And one of the things we want to share with you that you can stock up on is this here. This is what actually helps with some of those foods. This is flapjacked, and it's a flour. Like you see here, it's a flour made with whole grain oats, whey protein. It has buttermilk, which is fine because it's the casein in the process of the way they make the buttermilk, which is good. It has pea protein, coconut, and baking soda, and even stevia extract, which is all products that we stand by. And if you look closely, you'll see here that it has 5 grams of fiber for each serving. Stand by. And if you look closely, you'll see here that it has 5 grams of fiber for each serving. I want to bring to your attention, when you're looking for snacks, you always want to purchase anything that has a dietary fiber of 3 grams and up. If you see anything less than 3 grams, put it back, because this is where you're going to go into your trans fat products and also a higher carb and also sugar. So you always want to make sure anything that you're buying in a package that it shows that it has a dietary fiber of 3 grams or more. All right, so back to the flour here. And why I stand by this flour is because it's one of the flours I use for our meals, and also that helps with people who love, let's say, hey, it's Saturday morning, I want to make myself pancakes. Well, hey, make you a nice, great pancake with this flour. You want to eat muffins. Hey, you can bake your muffins with this flour. And it's easy to use. And on the back, I can also even send you some ingredients and recipes on how you can make your own muffins. And you could spend one day, a couple of hours baking and then packing, and then, hey, you have your muffin, and it tastes really, really good. You can add dark chocolate chips. You can add nuts to your muffins. You can bake cookies with these. So it is a flour that has more of what you're looking for, which is, again, your protein and your fiber. That monk fruit is actually more of a plant. Now, of course, the process of it becoming sugar, it looks like sugar when it's in the packet. You don't realize what it is in its whole state. And this is what it looks like. Monk fruit is very, very sweet. It's derived from other fruits, and you can use it in your muffins. You can use it in baking. And again, it won't raise your blood sugar levels, but you will still get that sweet taste, that sweetness that you're looking for, that other products on the markets do offer. But again, they're not high in protein, not high in fiber, and it's not registering in your stomach that you're full. So you want to look at some of these products because they would actually help you in that process of, again, connecting your stomach with your brain. I'm almost done, and I'll take some questions. One more thing I want you to take a look at is when you're purchasing, again, products on the shelf. I'll tell you now, the FDA does not regulate what people do on the front part of the packaging. That's why you'll see keto, 100% fat-free, non-fat. They can put whatever they like on the marketing part of the product outside of the packaging. But when it comes to ingredients, there is a law that says that manufacturers must put exactly what is in the product. And how they're supposed to list it is from the most plentiful of the ingredient to the least plentiful of the ingredient. So when you're looking and you're out snacking, you want to make sure you look at the ingredient list. Not so much here. This could be the first thing you look at, your protein and your fibers. Remember, fiber 3 grams or more. Then the next thing you look at is your ingredients. See, here in this product, the first plentiful ingredient in this product is sugar. So this is a no-no. The next thing you want to be careful for, anything that you see that says partially hydrogenated vegetable oil means saturated fat, trans fat. But again, they come up with these sophisticated names so that you don't fully understand what it means, but you see vegetable. So you'll be like, oh, vegetable oil is healthy. No, it's not, because it's partially hydrogenated. And what that means is that the process of the hydrogens, how they bond, will stick and coagulate your organs. And that's why people, who have cholesterol levels that are high or are risk for strokes, these are some of the ingredients and products that can cause that. Look at this. So the first was sugar. The second was partially defatted peanuts. Again, this is all trans fat. Anything you see with partially, it means there's a process that was done in order for this to be defatted. However, again, it's not natural. So we're going to say that it's something trans fat, but they put it in a sophisticated way that you, the average consumer, don't really fully understand. So you'll see the word defatted and think, oh, defatted means, oh, they took the fat out. No, it more is of a way to camouflage that this is a trans fat. Now, corn syrup. Corn syrup is a sugar. This is another sophisticated way where they're hiding even more sugar. So this is Reese's Pieces, by the way. And look, the first two plentiful of these products is sugar. So you want to be careful and beware when you're looking at some of these products.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, we hear you.
So as I talk to you, I have this thing for crunching. So what kind of suggestions would you have for from the snack part of it that's a good option for crunchy, like something that is possibly prepackaged?
Okay, so for the prepackaged, I would say my go-to is typically rice cakes, and what comes to mind is popcorn.
Okay.
There's some chickpeas, and I could send that to you later. A few products out there with chickpeas that makes the chickpeas a little more of like a crisp texture. So when you purchase it, they come prepackaged, and they have fiber in it. There's kale chips. There's beef jerky. Those are the things that come to mind as a quick option. Now, like I've shared with other people, you can make your own granola. You can get bags of nuts, oatmeal, certain different other grains that are very fibrous, that are high in fiber. And then what you do is you take a baking sheet, and you can actually roast it and make your own big bag of granola, if that's something you like. And then offline, we can look at some other options, but those are some that come to mind.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. You can actually even make chips. You can make chips with sweet potatoes. You can take your sweet potato, you can grate it, and then again, roast it in the oven, and it'll give you that nice crispy texture. Right now, what they have on the market is plantains. You can make it similar to plantains.
Okay.
That same way, you just put sea salt, you put a little bit of olive oil to help, you put it in the oven, you bake it for about 20 minutes at 400 degrees, and then you put it in the broiler, and then it gives you that crispy texture. You can do that with beets, you can do that with parsnip, you can do that with sweet potatoes, even potatoes you can do that with.
Okay.
Carrots, you can do that with carrots. It's actually very tasty with carrots.
So, in doing like, since you said regular potatoes, the white potatoes, that wouldn't bring insulin spikes?
Well, again, depending on, for example, the person's situation. So I have to mention this. Certain people who may be insulin resistant, I would say do not choose potato. I would say there's certain options you want to be careful with if you're insulin resistant. You want to start off with some of your non-starchy options, and then eventually work your way up to the starchy ones, where, you know, it might spike up your sugar level, and if there's, you know, any pre-existing conditions.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions?
Bonnie, thank you for mentioning the flour about making pancakes, because I was just thinking about pancakes because I do like those on like Sunday sometimes. So that's a good option to be able to use that to make the pancakes with. It's a
Okay.
healthy option.
Yeah, no, you're very welcome. And again,